It began with a slip, a detour she thought would reignite her spark, but instead, it unlocked a nightmare. Revenge, cold and calculated, disguised as family bliss. Her husband, the man she vowed to spend her life with, was a stranger in a tailored suit. Respectability was a mask, and the truth, a buried secret. This is a story about shattered trust, twisted love, and vengeance served ice cold. The clock in the foyer chimed 7, each note echoing through their Upper East Side brownstone. Sarah stood at her vanity, meticulously applying mascara, her reflection showing a flicker of nerves beneath the polished surface. 36, blonde, always impeccably dressed, yet a subtle tension lined her emerald eyes. Mornings with Mark had become a dance of avoidance, 2 ships passing in the fog. She hadn't sought him out, relishing the distance like a breath of fresh air. Her phone vibrated, illuminating David's name. Anticipation surged. Their stolen moments were a secret thrill, a forbidden game. "Miss you. Dinner tonight?" his message read. A faint smile touched her lips. "Mark's at a conference. 7 okay?" She typed back, then hesitated, adding, "Wear the blue shirt." His reply was instant. "Anything for you?" A shiver ran down her spine. David was electric, a stark contrast to the dull hum of her marriage. Back to the mirror, she perfected every detail, knowing David would notice. Downstairs, she went through the motions, brewing coffee she wouldn't drink, leaving dishes in the sink, the illusion of normalcy. Mark's mug sat by the drain, a silent marker of their growing gulf. When was the last time they shared a morning? The memory was a blank, and its absence stirred nothing. Another buzz, Mark this time. "Hope your day is good. Love you." Empty words, devoid of warmth. She pocketed her phone and headed to the garage. Work was a blur of meetings and calls, each hour dragging. By 5, anticipation was a live wire. She gathered her things, nodding politely to her assistant. "Mrs. Sterling?" Claire chirped. "Yes, dinner meeting," Sarah replied smoothly. "Thompson files finalized?" "Already done. Have a great evening." Claire smiled brightly. The drive to David's loft in Soho was routine. Parking a block away, she walked briskly, heart racing. He opened the door in the blue shirt. His cologne enveloped her, pulling her close. "Early," he murmured, lips grazing her neck. His hands found the zipper of her dress. "Couldn't wait," she whispered, fingers tangling in his hair. Clothes fell to the floor. In his arms she felt alive, vibrant. Later, intertwined in his sheets, she traced patterns on his chest, their quiet moments as potent as their passion. "You should leave him," David said abruptly, his tone firm. Her hand froze. "It's complicated," she replied, clutching the sheet. "The brownstone, the trust fund, 15 years. "None of that matters," he cut in, frustration edging his voice. "You don't love him. Not anymore." "You can't know that," she countered, defensive. A bitter laugh. "Can't I? You're here, Sarah. Your marriage is a performance." Her phone buzzed, Jonathan's name flashing. "Heading home early? Dinner? Your choice?" "Damn it," she muttered, scrambling for her clothes. "He's on his way." David leaned against the door, irritation and resignation in his eyes. "Go," he said dryly. "Back to the perfect wife act. Not everyone escapes consequences." "Screw you," she snapped, zipping her dress. He softened, helping with the zipper. "One day you'll choose," he said quietly, "between the life you pretend to want and the one you need." His words echoed as she drove uptown, city lights blurring past. Relief washed over her as she pulled into her empty driveway. Silence pressed in. Another message. Traffic's insane. Home in 30. She turned on lights, creating the illusion of a quiet evening, and rushed upstairs. Hot shower, erasing traces of David, but not his words. Reaching for the bedroom light, she froze. A faint creak, the leather chair by the window. Hand faltered, eyes adjusted to the dim light. Mark's silhouette emerged from the shadows, motionless, gaze fixed on her. Mark remained still, his stare an unnerving weight. Her voice cracked, betraying her unease. "Mark?" she said, shaky, almost a whisper. "You startled me. Why are you sitting here in the dark?" Her hand inched toward the light switch, seeking solace in illumination. "Don't." His single word, quiet yet resolute, froze her. A chill seeped into her skin. Her arm fell back. "What's going on?" she pressed, trying for firmness, but her tone wavered. "Traffic's bad, I thought." "Did you?" he replied evenly, voice disturbingly calm. He turned on a small lamp. Muted glow filled the room, revealing his face, composed, devoid of warmth. His cold eyes settled on her neck. Her stomach twisted, recalling David's kiss. "How long?" he asked, sharp, measured. Mind scrambled for an excuse, a lie, but his stare, dishonesty was futile. "How long?" he repeated, tone slicing through her defenses. "Mark, I can explain," she began, voice pleading. "I saw you," he interrupted, words precise, unyielding. "Today, with him, in his bed." Gaze steady, expression unwavering. "One last time, how long with David?" Room spun, world crumbling, revelation a blow. He'd followed her. He knew everything. 6 months, she admitted, barely audible, dragged out by his unbearable silence. Mark tilted his head, as if her confession confirmed something already known. Rising, he straightened his clothes, unnerving composure. Movements slow, deliberate. "Where are you going?" she asked, panic rising. Braced for rage, accusations, tears. Not this eerie detachment. He paused at the doorway, back to her. "Out," he said flatly, tone devoid of feeling. "Mark, please," she cried, voice cracking. "We need to talk. I never meant—" He turned his head, eyes twisting with something dark, unreadable, then smoothed back to unsettling neutrality. "Nothing to talk about, Sarah," he said, her name a weapon. "You chose. Now we both live with it." Door closed with a finality that rooted her to the spot. Legs buckled, collapsed onto the bed, too shaken to move. This wasn't the confrontation she'd imagined. Anger, pain, yes, but not this unnerving calm. Wrong. Dangerous. Days became an uneasy routine. Mark moved to the guest room, presence in the house reduced to faint echoes. Belongings vanished from shared spaces, erasing himself from her life. Under same roof, they orbited, distant planets, careful to avoid collision. Demeanor distant, words polite, hollow. Signs of his existence faded. Mug in sink. Water running in bathroom. Footsteps late at night. Sarah told herself this was better than fighting. Mark's silence confirmed her belief. He lacked resolve to fight for anything, even their marriage. Guilt faded. replaced by David's passion, Mark's apathy. Life continued. Work, stolen moments with David, ignoring the chasm with her husband. When Mark watched her with that disquieting expression, she dismissed it. Woke to find him in the hallway, gazing into darkness, chalked it up to coping, to, then, the morning that shattered everything. Sharp knock on her office door. Before she could respond, 2 men entered. Older, graying hair, air of authority. Younger, sharp eyes scanning the room. "Mrs. Sterling?" the older man began, voice steady, weighty. "Detective Miller, Officer Davis, we need some questions." Cold dread settled. "What is this about?" she asked, voice trembling. Detective Miller opened a notebook. "Last time you saw David Chen?" Question struck her like a blow. "What?" she managed, thoughts scattering. "David Chen," Officer Davis repeated, deliberate. "We know you knew him." "Yes," she stammered, hands shaking. "Friends. Saw him 3 days ago. Why?" Detectives exchanged a glance. Fresh wave of dread. "Mr. Chen was found this morning," Miller said carefully, devoid of emotion. "Cabin outside the city." Her vision swam. "Found?" she echoed faintly, mind refusing to process. "His body," Miller clarified, each word deliberate. "Murdered. Brutally. Cabin belongs to your husband's family." Thoughts spiraled. Family cabin. Where Mark took her early on. Visited alone sometimes. "That's impossible," she whispered, but memories resurfaced. Mark's eerie composure, late-night absences, unsettling gleam in his eyes. "We need you to come with us," Officer Davis said. No room for argument. "Identify the body. Answer some questions." Drive to cabin blurred into haze of trees, mounting dread. Thoughts swung wildly between disbelief and terrifying possibility. She didn't know her husband. David couldn't be gone. Mark couldn't have done this. Could he? Standing motionless in cabin bedroom, gaze fixed on crimson-stained sheets, numbered evidence markers. Gravity of situation pressed against her chest. Officers' voices, technical terms, swirled around her, barely penetrating. Attention riveted on savagery permeating scene. Raw, violent fury seemed to seep into every corner. She'd never fathomed such malevolence behind Mark's quiet demeanor. "Mrs. Sterling?" Detective Miller's voice sliced through. "Sure you want to see the body?" Breath hitched, moment of hesitation, faint nod. Officers guided her to adjacent room, shrouded figure motionless, covering drawn back with clinical precision. Legs nearly gave way. David's face, contorted, unrecognizable, horrifying mask of agony. She turned away abruptly, swallowing bile. "Take your time," Officer Davis murmured gently, compassion in his voice. "Understand, this is a lot." Some resolve returned. Kimberly met Detective's eyes, voice wavered. "Do you think my husband did this?" "Considering all possibilities," Miller replied cautiously. "But we need to know where you were 3 nights ago." Question hit her like a blow. "You think I—" Words faltered, appalled, Miller's expression impassive. "Your fingerprints are all over the cabin," he stated, pulling out his phone. "Messages exchanged between you and the victim. Witness saw your car that night." Mind reeled. Messages? Car? Accusations incomprehensible. She hadn't been near cabin. Then, puzzle piece snapping into place. Unsettling realization. Mark. He had access to her phone. Knew every password. Possible he sent texts, tampered with belongings, revisited his reaction to affair. Calm demeanor, unnervingly composed. Now, David's brutalized body. Sickening clarity emerged. Mark's restraint masked deliberate, calculated revenge. "Mrs. Sterling," Officer Davis said, tone formal now. "We need you to come to the station." Outside, eyes landed on Mark, conversing with Officer by driveway. Posture relaxed, voice steady, exuding helpful concern. But as gazes met briefly, fleeting glimpse of something darker. Flash of satisfaction, cold, deliberate. Before she could process, he turned away, leaving her to suffocate under crushing weight of realization. Nightmare orchestrated by the man she trusted most. Interrogation room, devoid of comfort. Stark white walls, harsh fluorescent lighting. Sarah sat rigid metal chair, dress crumpled, marred by 2 days' wear. Detective Miller methodically spread photographs on table. Blood-stained walls, upended furniture, cabin transformed into horror scene. "Let's start," Miller began, tone feigning sympathy. "How did you meet Mr. Chen?" Hands trembled. "Real estate seminar march, management firm?" "Relationship personal?" Officer Davis interjected, pen poised. "Doesn't matter," she replied faintly. "Relevant," Miller countered, sliding a photograph closer. David's lifeless body. "Involved with him. When did it begin?" Sarah's eyes lingered on image, stomach churning. "May," she confessed, voice trembling. "Your husband?" Miller pressed. "Find out about affair?" "Last month," she answered, voice trembling. "Came home early. Caught us." "How did he react?" Davis asked, pen scratching. "He didn't," she said, confusion flickering. "Just walked away." "No word." Detectives exchanged look. "Unusual," Miller remarked. "Most react strongly." "Mark isn't most people," she blurted, words spilling out. "Cabin?" Miller asked, exterior shots of picturesque retreat, contrasting carnage inside. "Last there?" "Last summer," she answered quickly, realizing misstep. "Last summer?" Miller prompted, raising eyebrow. "With Mark," she clarified, voice faltering. Miller's thin smile, no warmth. "Curious," he said. "Your car spotted near cabin 3 nights ago." "Impossible!" she exclaimed. "Home!" "Anyone confirm that?" Miller asked. Lips parted. No words. Mark Charity Gala. She alone. "Fingerprints on fireplace poker," Miller continued. Photo brass weapons stained with blood. Murder weapon. "Explain?" "Handled it before," she stammered. "Cabin stay, but I didn't—" "More," Davis added. "Blood matching Mr. Chen's in trunk of your car." Room spun. "Lawyer," she whispered. "You're right," Miller said, collecting photos. "But evidence overwhelming. Another explanation now is time. Holding cell, claustrophobic cage concrete and steel, barely large enough to pace." Sarah spent first night counting steps, blocking out David's mutilated form. Thin mattress crackled with restless movement, rough surface no solace. Steel toilet behind low partition, reinforcing humiliation. Sleep fragmented, plagued by nightmares of blood, betrayal, Mark's cold gaze. Haunting vision unfolds. Mark steps from shadows, expression calm, chillingly detached. Same look night he uncovered infidelity. Dawn filters through barred window. Court-appointed lawyer enters. Uneasy blend inexperience, enthusiasm. Marcus Harrison, fresh from law school, fumbles papers in stark visitation room. "Case against you compelling," he begins nervously, adjusting glasses, hands trembling. "Forensic evidence strongly ties you to crime scene." Kimberly leans forward, voice urgent, cracking. "I didn't kill him. Set up." Harrison taps pen, skepticism, discomfort, suggesting husband orchestrated this. Her voice lowers, heavy dread. Mark isn't who everyone believes. When he found out about David, reaction wasn't normal. Harrison frowns, flipping notes. Witnesses described him devastated but composed. Colleagues, work, therapy. Kimberly shakes head, fingers raking unkempt hair. All show. Mark methodical, plans everything meticulously. Harrison's gaze flickers, doubt, sympathy. "Mrs. Henderson." "Kimberly," she cuts in sharply. "Kimberly," he corrects, sighing. Husband's alibi airtight. 200+ people. Anderson Foundation Gala that night. Photos, videos, sworn statements. Kimberly's laughter bitter, desperation tinged. "Of course." Mark leaves no loose ends. Fragmented memories flood mind, details dismissed as quirks, now ominous. Obsessive note-taking, recording conversations word for word, uncanny recall of smallest details, cataloging her life. "Tell me about relationship," Harrison says, notepad ready. Kimberly's eyes drop to wedding ring. "College. Different. Intense. Observant. Noticed everything. Teased him. Mind like computer." "When did things change?" Harrison probes gently. Her voice falters. "They didn't. I changed. Trapped. Mark predictable, meticulous. Then he found me with David." Eyes meet Harrison's, fear, disbelief. "Didn't yell, cry, just stood watching, turned and left." "Who does that? Spouse cheating simply walks away?" "Maybe shock," Harrison suggests. Kimberly shakes head firmly. "No, Mark doesn't act without a plan, not shock, something else." Harrison's pen scratches paper. "Prosecution's case hinges on affair as motive. Argue you killed David in rage when he tried to end things." Kimberly's voice rises, pleading. "Lie. David never wanted to leave. Wanted us to escape Mark, start fresh." Harrison presses. "Evidence of plans, messages, witnesses?" Throat tightens, predicament sinking in. "No. Careful. No records, witnesses, even messages. Mark could have altered them." Days blur into strategy meetings, sleepless nights. Each new evidence Harrison uncovers. Another blow. Noose tightening. Arguments mirror Mark's precision. Impeccable, relentless. 2 weeks confinement, Mark visits. Tailored suit, composed demeanor, radiating control. Visitation room, voice calm, almost tender. "Kimberly." She recoils, arms defensively folded. "Don't." He sits across, every movement deliberate. "Still your husband. Despite catching me with David, framing me for murder?" she snaps. Moment expression shifts, fleeting shadow, but tone steady. "Under pressure, natural to blame someone." Kimberly leans closer, voice trembling fury. "Blood in my car, fake messages, witnesses, car at cabin. You orchestrated it all, from moment you found us." Mark's posture changes subtly, straightens, head tilting, evaluating her. "Serious accusation," he says coolly, "especially from someone in your position." Anger boils over. "Why? Revenge? Why not just divorce me?" Faint, humorless smile. "Divorce? Too easy. You'd take half of everything we built. This way, you're left with nothing. Guard signals end of visit. Mark rises, smoothing jacket, calculated precision. Stay strong, Kimberly. Things have way of sorting themselves out. Preliminary hearing. Whirlwind. Kimberly sits beside Harrison, clothes subtle reminder Mark's control, sent by him. Prosecutor delivers unrelenting narrative, devastating case. Evidence show, prosecutor declares, Mrs. Henderson engaged in prolonged affair with David Chen. When he tried to end it, lured him to secluded cabin, killed him in fit of rage. Mark's testimony, character witness, flawless. Voice steady, convincing grief, paints picture wronged yet noble husband. Kimberly watches in silence, stomach twisting, staring at man once trusted, now most formidable adversary. He recounts shared life, companionship, moment discovering infidelity, fruitless attempts to mend broken. Voice trembles at right moments, sorrow heartbreakingly authentic. My fault, he confesses, gaze fixed floor, addressing everyone, no one. If I'd been better husband, maybe she wouldn't have looked elsewhere, wanted to forgive her, salvage what we had. Words fade into silence, deliberate pause, speaking louder than anything. Across room, Kimberly studies him. Skill in performance. Picture loyal husband, wounded yet resilient. Embodies image-devoted partner, bearing humiliation in name of love. Trial unfolds. Damning testimonies. Carefully arranged evidence. Prosecution constructs. Gripping narrative. Jealous wife, rage, murdering lover in fury. Mark's testimony seals fate. Performance so compelling, Kimberly doubts her innocence. Jury verdict. Words hammer blow. First-degree murder, foreman declares. We find defendant guilty. Suffocating silence. Kimberly's legs falter. Harrison steadies her. Judge pronounces sentence. Life imprisonment. Judgment sinks in. Gazes meet Mark's across room. Fleeting second, composed expression falters. Behind sorrow mask, glimmer of triumph. Realization hits too late. Mark orchestrated every detail downfall. Evidence, witnesses, narrative, all part of elaborate scheme. Man dismissed as unremarkable, meticulously plotted her destruction. Cold prison cell. New reality. Narrow bunk slab of ice. Ceiling fractured with cracks. Nightly contemplation. Rough jumpsuit scratches skin, constant reminder imprisonment. Outside cell, rhythmic clang metal doors, echo distant footsteps. Muffled sobs of inmate punctuate silence. Monotony broken, Officer Martinez appears at door. Visitor, officer announces, expression unreadable. Kimberly frowns. Harrison not scheduled. Family abandoned her, swayed by Mark's manipulation. Who is it? She asks, wary. Your husband. Martinez replies, shrug. Words punch to gut. Kimberly's hands tremble, rises, attempting to smooth coarse uniform. Walk to visitation room endless, each step echoing louder than racing heart. Inmates watch her pass, stares heavy with judgment. There she is, someone whispers. Cheating wife, killed lover. Stark visitation room. Mark waits, calm confidence. Tailored gray suit, perfect fit, Fluorescent lights reflect silver streaks hair. Eyes scan disheveled form, smirks. "You look awful," he remarks coolly. "Orange isn't your color." Kimberly drops into chair, aware camera's recording. "What do you want, Mark?" she asks flatly. He slides manila envelope toward her. "Gift." Inside, divorce papers, signature neatly inscribed. "Irreconcilable differences," she reads aloud, voice dripping scorn. "Sanitized phrase for murder?" Mark's smile sharpens, devoid of warmth. "Let's avoid baseless accusations. We've seen where that gets you." "Why now?" she demands, holding up papers. "Why not wait for appeal?" He chuckles low, condescending. "Appeal? You actually believe you'll win? Evidence airtight. Any judge reviewing case see what everyone else sees. Overwhelming proof." "Proof you fabricated," she counters, voice sharp. "Allegedly," he replies smoothly, leaning closer, tone near whisper. Beauty of it. No one suspect quiet, mild-mannered Jonathan Sterling orchestrating something complex. Grieving husband, standing by wife despite betrayal, heinous crime. Perfect story. Kimberly stares, horror dawning as facade cracks. "You've reveled in this," she accuses. His expression hardens, tone cutting. "Do you know what it was like watching you destroy 15 years of marriage?" Kimberly's breath caught as Mark's voice pierced the tense air, cutting like a blade. "You thought I wouldn't notice, didn't you?" he began, tone frigid and deliberate. "All your sneaking around with David, but you underestimated me. I didn't just kill him, I executed him." Each word dripped with icy precision. "Let me be clear, Kimberly. Before he died, I made sure he understood exactly why his time had come." Sickening churn twisted in Kimberly's stomach. Voice faltered, barely managing. "What? What are you saying?" Mark leaned in, unwavering gaze pinning her. "I ensured he knew his death was just the beginning. Start of your undoing. Every shred of evidence, every witness, every carefully placed clue points directly to you. This isn't about him, Kimberly. It's about you. About watching your life unravel." Cold sweat formed, shiver ran through her. "Tell me what you did," she pleaded, voice cracking. "You owe me that much." Mark studied her moment, expression calm, almost amused. Then shrugged, gesture casual as reply. "Why not? No one believe you anyway." Leaning back, composed ease, he began. "Started with cabin. Simple, really. Spent so much time there together. Your connection undeniable. Fingerprints everywhere. All I needed, make it look like you'd been there recently with David." Smirk played at corners of mouth. "Witness paid in full. They did see your car that night. Except I was driving it. Wig, makeup, perfect timing, did trick. Text messages? Child's play. Never bothered to change password after I found out about you two. Spent weeks crafting fake conversations. Flawless digital trail. Every text, location log, so-called plan between you, David. Police bought it all. Airtight." Kimberly's fists tightened, nails digging palms, struggling contain rising panic. Mark's voice softened, almost reverent. "Then charity gala, my pièce de résistance. 200 people, mayor, half city council. Photos, videos, social media posts. Meticulously designed prove I was mingling crowd that evening. Everyone remembers charming donor, couldn't possibly been at cabin. Expression darkened. Didn't need stay entire evening. Just long enough leave lasting impression. People fill in gaps themselves. While they assumed I was there whole night, I slipped away. Pay David visit. Kimberly's breath caught, words failing her, weight of confession crushed her. He was surprised see me, Mark said, tone devoid emotion. Thought I came make peace. Even apologized. Can you believe that? Apologized. As if apology could change anything. But I wasn't there, forgive him. She closed eyes, blocking vivid images his words painted. Stop, she whispered, voice barely audible. Mark's reply cold. You wanted truth. Here it is. I orchestrated everything. Destroy you. Every lie, evidence, designed ensure you'd spend rest of life in cell. Why not just kill me? Kimberly's voice broke, question escaping whisper. For first time, Mark's calm demeanor cracked, flicker of emotion seeping into tone. Because death too kind, too quick. You don't deserve peace. I want you to live with consequences of choices. Watch life crumble, feel every agonizing second of freedom slipping away. Guard approached, curt. 5 minutes. Mark nodded, turned back to Kimberly. Sign papers. Let's make official. If I don't? She asked, trembling voice barely masking defiance. His smile cruel, mocking twist lips. I can wait. Time on my side. Yours, however, is not. This is your life now. Someone find out truth, Kimberly whispered, fragile hope. Someone uncover what you've done? Adjusting tie, Mark chuckled. You mean loyal, heartbroken husband who stood by wife despite betrayal? Nobody questions grieving spouse. I've played role perfectly. Her glare burned defiance. Is that all you care about? Fooling everyone? His tone hardened. What I care about is justice. You destroyed our marriage, flaunted affair, treated 15 years like they meant nothing. Now I get to watch you lose everything. Freedom, pride, future. Briefcase in hand, Mark rose, paused at door. Best part, he said, voice venomous. Truth is right there. Anyone to see. My revenge is open secret, but no one will believe it. No one ever saw real me, not even you. You won't get away with this, Kimberly said, trembling voice. Not forever. He turned gaze almost pitying. I already have. You made me invisible, Kimberly. Now it's your turn. Just another convict, forgotten except for her crimes. Last glance added, enjoy your new reality. Years pass very slowly in here. Guard escorted her away. Kimberly clutched divorce papers, hands shaking uncontrollably. Back in cell, stared through narrow window at sliver sky. Once symbol endless possibility, now taunted her with unattainable freedom. Shadows deepened. Prison sounds faded silence. Sat on bunk, haunted by man she once believed she knew. Quiet, unassuming husband, concealed relentless thirst for vengeance beneath calm exterior. Truth crushed her in waves, relentless, unyielding. Mark executed plan with ruthless precision. She remained trapped. Physical bars, intricate web of deceit he spun. He'd return to life they shared, untouched, triumphant. Life she'd taken for granted. Life she'd never reclaim. Mark's vendetta executed with chilling elegance. Orchestrated plan to annihilate Kimberly's existence. Not enough to take David. He dismantled foundation of her life, leaving ruins. Every evidence, witness, detail, meticulously manipulated to ensure entrapment absolute. Hours crept by, suffocating darkness cell. Faint voice emerged, sorrowful blues melody, heartbreak, redemption. Kimberly lay motionless caught, divorce papers beside her, signed, unsubmitted. Symbol shattered world. Mournful tune seeped into consciousness, stirring memories man she once loved, illusion she trusted. Mark always man quiet intensity, deliberate nature, mistaken humility, attention detail endearing, precision harmless quirks. Now realized, traits instruments downfall. Meticulousness, once admired, transformed engine cruelty profound, eclipsed death relentlessness, stripped her of everything, freedom, dignity, future. Done flawlessly, no one beyond prison walls would believe he was behind it. To world, Mark wronged husband, victim tumultuous marriage. Behind mask, man calculated malice, invisible all but Kimberly, leaving her bare burden betrayal alone. Sheer scale treachery pressed down, suffocating weight. She knew she'd carry forever. Oppressive stillness cell, full extent. Mark's plan excruciatingly clear. Goal not simply punish her. Aim create lifetime suffering, ensuring each day lived felt new. Chapter unending torment. Man underestimated, dismantled life, ruthless efficiency, even solace, mental escape out of reach. Years ahead stretched endlessly, bleak expanse time reflect on decisions led her here. Not just a fair, sealed fate. Inability, see predator, lurking beneath Mark's composed exterior. Mistaken patience, gentleness, restraint, fragility. Failing recognize cold, calculated nature retribution until too late. Faint clang guards making rounds echoed corridor, breaking thoughts. Kimberly's eyes fell again divorce papers. Long moment hesitation. Reached pen. Each stroke signature felt like sealing tomb life once known. Mark achieved victory beyond comprehension, not simply imprisoned her physically, annihilated every aspect identity. Reputation tatters, autonomy obliterated, very sense self-reduced. Nothing under weight carefully executed scheme. Outside walls, Mark continue life unfettered. Basking admiration society saw him a grieved party. Man unfairly betrayed. Meanwhile Kimberly left endure perfect trap he set. Nightmare designed merciless precision, revenge work art, chilling display quiet cruelty from man no one could suspect harboring such malevolence, and this, Mark's ultimate triumph, not only destroyed her, ensured truth darkness remain forever hidden. Disbelieved by all but woman whose life he thoroughly ruined. My friend, end story. If liked story, put royal like subscribe channel. May force be with you.